I think we're ready to start. All right. Well, if you weren't here when we first logged in, this here on the this podcast, webinar, podcast. This webinar is Mr. Matthew Davis, our Chief Marketing Officer here at Trade Pending, sporting all the Trade Pending swag. And I'm Joe Dallas, the Chief Business Officer here at Trade Pending. So as we stated, this is our first annual Wobbly Awards, and we're excited for it. Just as a reminder, feel free to drop some stuff into the chat, questions, comments, tell us how we're doing. We are going to be recording this. So if you have to leave or weren't able to attend, we'll be sure to get that recording out for you. So on our agenda today, we are just going to do a quick product tour. A lot has changed over the last 6 months with our product suite. We're going to do a down and dirty run through of those products. So we're looking forward to that. And then we will expediently get on to the Wobblies, which is our first annual Trade Pending Customer Awards, of which Mr. Davis is holding one of the trophies right now, which those weigh, what, 20, 23 pounds, something like that, I think.
They are quite heavy and quite substantial. And if for some reason you won a Wobbly Award and it did not arrive in pristine condition, let us know. We got you covered.
All right. There's been some shipping errors out there. But I think we're doing pretty well on successful shipments of the Wobblies.
It's like the beginning of Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, when he's the UPS delivery guy and just kicking the box down the street. It's pretty much how it felt like.
Perfect reference. Love it. All right. So let's get into sort of our demo. We'll frame up our new product suite, which, foundationally, Matthew, you've been here a while now. Foundationally, nothing's really changed. What are we trying to do? We're trying to solve a problem. And the main problem is that the information available to consumers has been severely lacking when it comes to the relationship they have with dealers. Dealers have all this specialty, have all this expertise, they have market insights, and consumers have never really had a way to access that information. We're just trying to bring dealers and consumers together. And why is that so important? It's because as dealers, there's folks on your website every day looking for that specific information. So we do this occasionally. We run a Google Insight survey and just say, hey, when you're visiting an auto dealer's websites, what services would you value? And we see every time number one and number two being research new and used inventory, and then research of the value of their trade-in. Two very important things that you capitalize on as much as possible as a dealer. So today we're going to look at Snap, which is our core offering, Snap Plus, which is a new extension in Highlight Suite, and then also Snap Offer, which is something that we've been excited about over the last 60, 90 days in a single price platform that gives the dealers even more flexibility. And then, of course, Superlatives, which I think is one of the more intelligent merchandising products out there on the marketplace. It just uses all of our fancy data and lets dealers customize their merchandising efforts on their website. So since we're sort of short on time, let's jump right in.
And I think it's fair to say, too, that Snap Offer has been probably the most successful product launch. Just the last 60 days, we have seen absolutely ridiculous amounts of adoption of that product. And so 100%. I'm looking forward to see you showing why that is.
Awesome. Well, we're going to jump down to our friends down in North Charleston at Hendrick Toyota, and we're going to really quickly just show, the superiority as a piece of software in our ability to, one, convert customers quickly through our platform, but also exchange some pretty handy information. So foundationally, you just have a type ahead tool here that lets you find your vehicle extremely fast. We ask the consumers for some really basic info, and inside 10 seconds, we have, kind of achieved a conversion. See here, I'm flagged to update my mileage. And as I do update my mileage, my value, my placement in the market, update automatically. So really core here is that what we're doing is using the dealership as sort of the center of the universe. We're just simply working out in increments of miles in order to find enough comps to be able to derive some sort of comparable data set and thereby derive a value. So our methodology is, hey, what's it listed at in the market? What's a retail price for this vehicle? And then we're going to do what every dealer on the planet does, is they back down from retail into a trade value through things like reconditioning and sensitivities like whether or not it could be certified on my lot, and core things like depreciation. So the great thing about this here, and one of the things that's made Snap so adoptable to our dealer group, is that all of this is customizable, it's intelligent, and it's flexible. So reconditioning is totally intelligent to whatever the search is. So if I was to back out and search for a 6 Series BMW, a reconditioning fee would automatically update to something tangibly higher because it would cost more to recondition it. And then also this CPO fee would disappear because you can't certify a BMW on a Toyota site or a Toyota lot. And then even in the way that the range itself displays, it is basically an expression of an average of all these dots. So let's say that average was $10,000. This would be a -8 to +2 of percent of that average. So simple math, at $10,000, that means it'd be 9,200 to 10,200. Dealers in today's market might make choices to step up exponentially higher, maybe -8 to +5%. And in that case, you would see 9.2 to 10.5. Just gives dealers a tremendous amount of flexibility in their marketplaces, depending on whatever their business strategy is.
So when CarMax is giving you a lot of competitive offers down the street, or another dealer is getting really competitive for acquiring inventory, you can't control that.
That's right. And so we give dealers that ability to be flexible, to be nimble, and anytime they want to call in and say, hey, we're going to get aggressive over the next 6 months, but then we'll probably cool it back down a little bit. But we know inventory being as scarce as it is today, this is something that has really come in handy for our dealer base. And speaking of, what's happened over the last couple of years, one thing we haven't had complaints about is our values, because, oh yeah, we're updating this every day based on what's going on in the marketplace. Now, a while back, we started getting feedback that says, hey, this is great. I love having a wide range, starts a lot of conversations, and it gives me a lot of flexibility and places to go, but could we do something to get a firm offer for our customers? And so through a lot of iteration and some alpha and beta customers, we actually launched a pretty slick product here that allows to get from this number into a single offer just by answering a series of questions. Now, the beauty of this is that not only are the number of questions customizable based on dealer input, but the questions themselves and the results of the inputs from the consumer has customizable effects on the final value. So asking things like, are there any warning lights? No, I don't have any of those. Has it ever been in an accident? Well, this could be a really sensitive one. So we're trying to get down to a single number. If I say yes, maybe that's a question that then we punt on giving a single number. But remember, the consumer's already converted. So we have that information. We're just not going to stand behind a number because a vehicle's been in an accident. You can see we're just not going to give them that specific value. However, if I had said no, you would see a firm offer over to the consumer. Now, what's cool about this is that we can run regular Snap on one page. We can run Snap offer on different pages. We can make it so you go into the numbers first, into the questions first before you see any of this information. It's totally up to you, the dealer, to determine how you want to integrate this. So if I go through this process, say neither, I'm 10 out of 10, I got no issues, person used, go through all of this, say no, it's never been in an accident. And now I've got a firm offer to display to the customer. The customer has this information and can kind of see how we arrived at that through the market data. So we've seen tremendous adoption of this. We've seen some very creative integrations, and we've seen, just on something like questions, as few as 4 and as many as 20. Totally up to you, the dealer, on how you want to integrate that. Did I miss anything there, MD?
Doing great.
All right. So while we're talking about Snap and Snap Offer, let's talk about Snap Plus. Everybody's plussing everything today, like Disney Plus and Discovery Plus. But we launched this little enhancement a few months ago. It basically just gives you a couple more things that make the experience a little bit more valuable and the quality of lead a little bit more insightful. So the first thing that we did was make this shareable. So now I can take that report. I want to share what my vehicle has appreciated to in the last 2 years and share that with my wife. I can send that over to her, or I can send a copy to my email. The other version of this is going through the similar process, but that sharing takes place directionally with the consumer and their email or phone number. So I'm not going to the report and then sharing it. I'm verifying my information, and then that market report gets sent over in that format to the consumer. So Snap Plus has been really cool with these two kind of integration points. But then the other thing that we did was add some business intelligence. So presumably when somebody's been shopping around on your website, they've hit other vehicles in the inventory, and we had feedback just said, hey, from an informational standpoint, it'd be really useful if we knew what other vehicles consumers have been on. And so in addition to so in every lead, essentially, when you come in, and of course this would be in your CRM, but if we're looking at the market reports leads that come over to you, the dealer, we're now including not only the questions and answers to Snap Offer, we're also including a VDP tracking history that shows exactly what this consumer looked at while they were on your website, in addition to whatever offer they received based on their search and trade. So tremendous amount of value in that, just to know that, hey, we can build a little case here. We sort of know where this person's head is on what they're looking for. Probably not a used car buyer. Maybe they're a low mileage driver, and we can get them in a 2021 Nissan Rogue lease for less than they were paying before. So definitely for BDCs that like reading the lead, that don't mind clicking into a link embedded in their CRM, but incredibly valuable. All right, so now let's talk about superlatives before we get into the Wobblies. Now, superlatives, as I stated earlier, everything that we do is totally market centric, right? We're looking at the marketplace every day, looking at retail and seeing cars enter the market and exit the market. And we thought as a company that there was a story to tell there around what was really unique about a vehicle. What's the USP of every vehicle? Because if you roll back the clock a few years, dealers were really complaining about margin compression and sort of the dive to the bottom on price reductions, and really needed something to help build value and create urgency in their inventory. So we took all of our data and just stood up these badges here that very succinctly and very intelligently just convey to a consumer, what's the reason that I need to really be interested in this vehicle, and not necessarily try to beat the dealer up on price. It's like, well, it's because one, it's got extremely low mileage. It's in incredible demand. It usually sells in 15 days. There's not a lot of them around. It's got a ton of popularity, and guess what? Because of the mileage, maybe it has remaining warranty that you might be in a good position on. The one thing we haven't talked about in all that is, guess what? Price, because it doesn't matter. There's enough value that's being built in this piece of inventory that, frankly, it justifies that price. When we do talk about pricing, we do it in very specifics, and again, market based. We're saying like, this vehicle is priced better than 80% of similar vehicles within a 200-mile radius. One thing that's really important from a dealer standpoint with superlatives is that we're not looking at things nationally. We're looking at them within 300 miles of your dealer and trying to look at them 50 to 25 miles. But ultimately giving you a vehicle in order to, one, have something to talk about with customers, and two, hopefully build enough value in your inventory that you're able to hold more gross and just have a better exchange with your customers. So increase your experience on the website, enable your sales staff to have these good conversations. And, you put that whole product suite together and you really do have sort of a winning used car strategy. And in the environment that we're in today, we know that that's a big priority for dealers out there today. There's a bunch of other stuff to talk about with Superlatives, like the fact that you can customize it. We can do some intelligence around customized details, things that we can't see from data, like new tires, new brakes. But we would need to do a much longer demo for that. So I'll save that for follow-up. If you're interested in any of this, which we'll call out at the end, please do reach out to our team.
Is it snowing in North Charleston right now?
I just noticed that animation and I thought it was like my vision was going or something, but I think that is snow in North Charleston. Yeah.
That's crazy. At first I thought you were moving your mouse around way too much, but yeah, it's snowing. Well, that's pretty neat.
All right. So that's the down and dirty 15-minute demo. I don't think we missed anything there. So appreciate everybody listening to me almost hyperventilate trying to get through that.
Well, if we're going to give awards based upon the company, it makes sense to have some context of the products, right?
Absolutely. So let's get into it, MD. You take her away. This is exciting.
All right, you're my slide man here, but yes, welcome. This is the Wobbly Awards, the inaugural Trade Pending Customer Awards. Let's jump into it here. So we first had to start with which categories we're going to be awarding for, and we'll finish. We're starting here, but we'll finish with the Inventory Sourcing Grand Champion, which is, if you click a little bit more, give some explanation as to how we thought about that. Basically, they were the champions at inventory sourcing across all their channels, with their campaigns, with their marketing. But this dealership also worked closely with us throughout the year on other campaigns, product ideas, and many other things. Then next, we have the Trade Pending Top Performer Award, and there's 18 of those that are across the country. And much like the Inventory Sourcing Grand Champion, this is for excelling at sourcing more inventory, not only just through our products, but through the campaigns that we can see, through their marketing channels, through the processes that they built in place. We've really enjoyed connecting with a lot of these customers over the past year and for many years. So it's great to finally have a mechanism to say, job well done. Of course, we're not going to catch everybody out there, but here you go. And I think a piece important here on this one is that it's regardless of the market or the size, right? So you can have a killer strategy no matter where you are in the country. The next award are the Vehicle Merchandising Champs. These are the customers that took really, really great use of the Superlatives product. So not only is it, for the most part, Superlatives is set it and forget it. You can put it on there and 99% of the badges are going to apply on your site without any effort. But these customers really went to the next level and customized Superlatives to promote everything around new options, new financing, new packages, their value-added programs, that type of thing. And then the last category here, which we'll then lead with here as we jump into the awards, is the API Partner of the Year. And so this company is actually taking this idea of vehicle evaluations and bringing them into new markets, into new channels, new products and services. And so the winner of the API Partner of the Year award is, ta-da, it is Capital One. We don't have to play the video there. We'll make sure the link is for that when we share it out. Joe, tell us about Capital One.
Yeah, Capital One was one of our first sort of non-vendor type API partners that came to us. Obviously, a huge financial institution trying to figure out how to navigate, better communication with customers around auto loans and building out some cool products themselves. So we're happy to be an integration point when it comes to vehicle data for that team.
And they've been running a national ad campaign for it. This is the dad mode ad, which pairs nicely with my dad bod.
Yeah, exactly. No, me too, man. Awesome.
Okay, yeah. The next awards are the vehicle.
Oh, no, hold on.
Oh, well, watch out there. Settle down there.
Sorry.
Vehicle Merchandising Champs. So Fred Martin Nissan. So we really like this use case because they are using custom superlatives to really promote their platinum advantage and everything that's included with it. So when you buy a car from Fred Martin Nissan, you don't just get the car. You get so many other features and services from them. And there was really no other great way to communicate that. It's really difficult to do that in the VDP. And so they've been using custom superlatives to do that. And hats off to the Fred Martin Nissan team. Well done.
Good job, team.
Next up, A-Bears Town and Country here. So John Bartle has been a big advocate of the Superlatives product since it launched. John, Joe, who are you? Joe, you have some stories there, don't you?
Yeah, John really took the bull by the horns back during COVID, the kind of the throes of it, to use Superlatives as a vehicle just to talk about the fact that they were sanitizing in between test drives and just some real core fundamental things, and continues to layer on, things like trade specials on certain vehicles. But he's definitely, a power user when it comes to just utilizing some of the customization options that we have within Superlatives.
A lot of what we've seen too, especially from these guys, is using it to convey the message that they can do everything that the Carvanas and Brooms of the world can do. They can deliver at home. And so they're using their custom Superlatives to really promote that message.
Yep. Awesome.
All right. And the final winner of the vehicle merchandising champ, Sarah Chevrolet. And so this is a great example here. They're taking a merchandising product and they're using it to help promote trade-ins. And it's a great time to be doing that.
Good job, Sarah.
All right, so we're going to move in here to our top performers for inventory sourcing here. There's 18 of these, so we're not going to go through them individually. We will do some specific call outs though. We had a webinar with Matt Lasher just a couple of months ago from West Her, and he shared all sorts of best practices around inventory sourcing they're doing. It was great to hear that feedback from them. We've got that webinar in the archives. You can check it out. And I think we've got a call out here on the next page as well. What's on our next slide there? Yeah, so Port City Nissan. We don't have to play this for you, but they do an absolutely fun riff of South Park and look and feel of that style of show, and then taking that to getting your cars traded in. If you look at their views on YouTube, they're actually doing a great job. So again, it's not just about using a tool from any vendor. It's about using the entire ecosystem, or all the tools you have available to really promote that. And so these guys absolutely deserve the top performer award.
Awesome.
The next batch, congrats to Hendrick Lexus Charlotte, Phil Long Motor, City Hyundai Colorado, Howling Kia, Toyota Spokane, Starling Chevrolet, Kia of Chattanooga. And I think we've got a call out here on the next slide for Starling Chevrolet. They just jumped out to us because they are just continually to absolutely crush it when it comes to their conversion levels and driving leads. And it's one thing where there's not necessarily a secret sauce. They are just doing everything they possibly can to drive people to the site. They're running campaigns, and then they're really smart about making sure that their placements are optimized.
Awesome. All right. So next batch is Royal Kia of Tucson, Vacaville Kia, Bill Holt Chevy of Blue Ridge, Rogers Chevrolet Chicago, Beaverton Toyota, and Keller Ford. I think the real, for me, the one here that just because it's from the state of my birth, and I've known that group for a long time, is Bill Holt Chevy of Blue Ridge. Tiny little town up in the mountains in North Georgia, and just absolutely crushing it in that kind of rural marketplace. Just a call out, just the little engine that could, man. They're doing awesome.
Yep, and then we've got a call out here on the next slide for Beaverton Toyota as well. We love working with with the team there because they really treat it as a partnership. They don't treat us as a vendor. Some people do, and that's totally fine. But these guys really go above and beyond to reach out to say, hey, what are the new best practices? What new features do you have coming? What new products do you have? And so we work together with these guys, and that shows in their results. And so
Absolutely.
The next slide is the inventory sourcing grand champion winner, Hendrick Toyota, North Charleston.
Yeah, big fan of this location. I don't think it's been any secret that Jason Scott down there runs a great operation. He's been a great partner, and has really championed us as well, and has always been open to trying stuff, to do things that are out of the box in his own dealership, and has done an awesome job at being an inventory sourcer, especially in that marketplace.
Absolutely. When Jason joined us on a webinar earlier this year, he shared tons of their best practices in terms of how they comfortably approach customers in the service area to talk about trade-ins, how they use their Wi-Fi landing page to talk about trade-ins, and the results show and they speak for themselves. And obviously, we're not going to show everybody's results here on this webinar. I don't think everybody would necessarily appreciate that. And Mason, we did see your comment about showing some examples. Yeah, we'll put some of those together. We just weren't going to have enough time to go through all of that in depth today in a 30-minute webinar. But that's a great feedback, Mason. Thank you.
Awesome. Well,
all right.
Speaking of, if you made it this far, you might not get the 25-pound cast trophy, but if you want your own free wobbly bird, do reach out or just go to bit.ly/peepbird to pick one of these up.
And then, guys, let's wrap it up. Congratulations again to the trade pending Wobbly Award winning customers and to all of our customers out there. You guys make this possible. Thank you.
And if there's any customers out there that feel like they're totally been jilted because they should have been an inventory sourcing champion and we just totally have overlooked you, please do also reach out to either Matthew or myself and we'll get you taken care of with some swag.
Absolutely. Righteous indignation is absolutely acceptable.
Perfect. Well, we'd like to thank everybody for coming out today. It's been an absolute pleasure to share the just a fun time with Matthew and I and our first annual Wobbly Birds, and can't wait to do it again next year.
Maybe we'll even do it in person. Who knows?
Who knows? That'd be great. All right, everybody. Thanks so much. Bye.